Let's talk about another washed-up child actor, Shia LaBeouf. So apparently, Shia LaBeouf not only is out here using the gay panic defense in regards to why his ass got arrested, but after the whole rehabilitation situation, an insider is basically running around saying that if so LaDouche, Shia LaDouche is like we got Shia LaDouche and Justin Timberdouche. So we got two drunks out here who start out as kids in the business who don't know how to keep their mouth off the bottle. But anyway, so we're gonna talk about this one. We already talked about that other lame yesterday, as in Justin. So Shia, if he don't get help, he gonna end up no longer part of the union. So although the troubled actor has been, he better lay low. His bar brawl with two men in which he allegedly hurled homophobic slurs during Mardi Gras celebrations in the Big Easy put him firmly back in the spotlight. But those who know LaBeouf fear his punishment won't truly help the 39-year-old Transformer star, who was charged with two misdemeanor acts of simple battery, with a third added Saturday. Indeed, sources who have been in his orbit for years call him a master manipulator who is very adept at playing the role of good guy in recovery, trying to be a better self. Well, yeah, didn't at one point he went on some show or whatever and started crying and talking about, oh yeah, it was John Bernthal's podcast. Went on there, brought on the waterworks and everything. You really thought his name was Karen with all them damn crying that he was doing. Um, and sit up there trying to put on this whole little song and dance. Talking about how Mia Goth saved his life and all this other shit, and now look at him, a mess. Now, LaBeouf has been accused of subjecting women in his life, including Brit singer FKA Twigs and his estranged wife Mia Goth and stylist Carolyn Foe, to toxic and abusive behavior, saying, "quote He's just so good at convincing people and potential partners, they all fall for it," said one LaBeouf source. Page Six is told Goth came close to joining Twigs, real name Talia, I think is it, Talia Barnett, in her 2020 suit against the star in which she accused him of sexual battery, assault, and infliction of emotional distress. Saying, quote, he's so convincing when he says, I've been in recovery, I'm making amends, I'm flawed, I had the terrible childhood and this terrible past. On Thursday, LaBeouf, who was seen drinking a beer and kissing a woman after his, well, he gonna do to you what he did to the other ones, you better run, after his February 17th arrest outside the R Bar, avoided jail time by agreeing to enroll in substance abuse treatment, undergo drug testing, and post a $100,000 bond. However, one legal source dubbed this celebrity punishment, adding it would involve the actor simply checking into an online service. Wait, they got rehab online? I'm like, you ain't gonna learn shit from the internet. Not in that way. You need to be in a room with some people recovering where there's a bed and meetings and things. But that's only if he's willing to do the work. And I just don't think that Shia is interested in getting better. Like I said, when it comes to people who suffer from addiction, they have to come at it in their own time and when they're ready to do what it is that they need to do. And if they're not willing to take that step, there's nothing you can do. Except, unfortunately, if it gets bad to the point where they're slowly killing themselves because of the excessive amount of drugs that they're doing, unless they're willing to walk, you can lead them to the water, but you can't make them drink it. Unless they're willing to drink that water on their own, you're just going to have to sit there and let them dehydrate, metaphorically speaking, because it's going to take water to hydrate. So, what can you do? If you're not willing to get the help, you could force him to pay fines and force him into rehab and threaten jail time or whatever the case is. But if he's not willing to participate and really can't get himself together and not realize that he's got a kid. Like it's not like he's single. If you were single and you want to ruin your life, then go ahead. But you're a father and you have a wife, which you're estranged from. But you, like I said, you have a kid. You don't want to live for your own child. So, but yeah, so they went on and said this guy has got to find a way to get sober or die. Eventually, this is going to a tragic ending. And they also said his behavior sounds like an accident. I mean, sorry, his behavior sounds like an addict. It's just sad that someone with so much to live for continually puts himself at risk. Despite this, LaBeouf doesn't believe he's an addict and doesn't think that he needs rehab. Because yeah, when he did his interview with YouTuber Andrew Callahan, which came out over the weekend, he basically said that it's not nice to hurt people ever. It's fucking lame. People got hurt. I got to deal with that. I'm gonna deal with it that in full. I'll eat it all. It was on me. It's not on them. It's on me. I messed up. And he basically said that he takes accountability. I mean, that's great and all, but do you really take accountability? Or are you saying it's because the cameras are rolling? And like they said in this whole article, he's a master manipulator. He wants you to think that he's taking accountability. He's trying to work on him. So I'm a work in progress. I'm trying to like we hear these stories all the time. And it always sounds good to go along with it and believe it. But when you continue to be a repeat offender and you still using the same talking points and you're spewing the same bullshit, at some point I gotta look at you and be like, don't piss on my leg and tell me it's raining. And that's literally what I feel like based on this story, what Shia is giving. So I hope he gets it together with his whole situation. But okay, this article is long as fuck. How long is this article? There's some page said this shit is 6 minutes. Y'all pretty much got the gist. I don't need to go on anymore with this, but they've said like many of the girls that he's had over the years, from FKA Twigs to Carrie Mulligan, many of the other girls that he's dated, he's been very tumultuous being in a relationship with him. We even played that video of this girl named Drina that he was dating, where we played clips from prior. I can't remember how long ago, but we did a recent episode where she had secretly recorded him and he was going off on her, calling her a little girl, being very manipulative, like real verbally abusive to her and all this other stuff. When you're going to be a good little girl and apologize, I'm like, what is she, 12? Like, you have a daughter. If your daughter's acting out of line, then you speak to her in that way, but you shouldn't be speaking to a woman you fucking like she's your child. That I don't get. But some of these men got the unmitigated gall to be talking the way they be talking, sometimes out of their mouth. Um, but yeah, so my question is to all of you: do you believe that Shia has any interest in wanting to figure out how to get better? Because I feel like doing drugs, drinking, all that other stuff, and drinking as excessive as he did when he moved to New Orleans and was down there at Mardi Gras. There's very much some things that you did because they said that he had like a tumultuous childhood. And I don't know much about his childhood. I don't know if he's spoken a lot about what happened in his past growing up and his parents or whatever the case is. But at a certain point, sir, you're pushing 40. You have to come to a point where you're willing to do the work on yourself. If it's not rehab, work on figuring out getting to the root of that wounded inner child that you continuing to self-medicate because you don't want to deal with whatever issues of that inner child that is wounded and been hurt and whatever the case is. Heal that aspect of yourself and you'll be able to heal all the other things. And that'll probably be better off than you going to rehab. Because maybe rehab isn't for him. Maybe rehab is probably not for everybody. But there are other tools that you can use, especially with you being a celebrity and having money and resources that you can use to become a better person. There's no excuse on your end because you can afford all the things. Unlike some people out here who aren't as well off financially as you are. So I definitely want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of this story? Do you believe Shia LaBeouf, or do you think he's sitting there pulling our leg or pissing on our leg and telling us it's raining, a la Judge Judy? So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below.